Okay, now we're cooking. All right.
You I can hear really well. Yeah, I did.
Girl.
Do I know how to do that? I think not. Yeah, but they never do anything that I want. God damn it. Okay, I think I'm at full volume. Testing.
Testing.
Oh, good. Perfect.
You can hear me?
Yep.
Yay. I sure do.
And have I worked with you before?
Yes, I have taken, I believe, 1 or 2 other lessons with you with native.
With this horse?
Yes.
Uh-huh. Okay. Now, this one is, who wrote it yesterday?
Wendy.
Okay. All righty. So we have always, first is the mechanical parts. Second is the psychological parts. So the mechanical parts is where you sit, how you operate, how you stimulate, how you do physical things. And the psychological part is knowing when to stop, when to be aggressive, who cares. But anyway, so we have to work on both of them at once. And either your saddle is off to the left or your left stirrup is longer. Well, no, now it's not. Never mind, never mind. Okay, so first mechanical issue. Don't jam your heels down like that.
Okay.
And but to fix that, you don't push down on the stirrup tread with the ball of your foot. You raise your knee.
Raise my knee.
Yes, your thigh actually. When you see somebody with their heels down, everybody, and I remember being yelled at for years, get your heels down, keep your heels down. And I stood on the staircase and pushed my heels down to stretch my ligaments and all kind of weird stuff. And a lot of us did. It wasn't just me. But it's not right. Over a jump, your heels should go down. And once per stride, when you're riding on the flat, your heels should go down. But it's a feathering down, not a jam down.
Okay.
So mostly photographers catch the moment when the heels are low because that's the best moment of the stride to make the horse look good. But in fact, a good rider has a fluttering foot or leg. So your foot will go to level and then drop softly for a brief moment in a moment of the stride. But to jam it down simply shoves you completely out of balance.
Okay.
So that is, of course, a good argument in favor of practicing riding without stirrups, and ideally in a bareback pad, because then you got nothing to jam against.
Yeah.
And I did for years. I was told if I rode without stirrups, I would be a better rider. And I did, except that I held my toes up because I thought I was supposed to. So my heels would be down. And then when I picked up the stirrups, of course, it all went to hell. So let your feet dangle, so to speak. We'll talk about that more as we get going.
Okay.
But if you are shoving your heels down and it makes you have a chair seat with your legs thrust forward, anything else I can tell you is just an abstract. It's not going to be much use. I do think your
Oh,
left stirrup is longer than, well, maybe not.
it
Maybe
doesn't
the
feel like
saddle
it,
might
but I
just be rolling around. Okay, go. Okay, now another mechanical issue. Like all women, almost all women, you stick your butt out and your guts and tits forward. Don't. Drop your chest. It sounds terrible, I know, because we're always told stretch up, be elegant, stretch tall. But what women do that makes riding go so wrong is in that effort to do that, they arch the lower back, stick the butt out, raise the chest, cave in the lower back. So drop your chest, raise your pubic bone, roll back onto your buttocks, get off your crotch, and you will feel like a ripe potato. No, you've still got your butt stuck out. Yeah. Okay, it's a little bit problematic for women because that's how they're built. If you see the skeleton of a woman next to the skeleton of a man, the man's coccyx tailbone drops straight down from the spine. A woman's goes out like a cockatrice, like a squirrel, like a chicken. And so you have to make up for that so that you don't make a problem by doing the stick out butt and stick out chest. So what you want to do to stretch up, it's stretch up is a very good expression really, except that you have to explain, I have to explain to the rider that the stretching is the back of you, not the front of you. Does that make any
okay.
sense at all?
In theory, it does.
So that it straightens your spine because the way that you stretch your spine is to straighten the more curves and arches it has in it, the shorter it's going to become. So by stretching your spine, stretching up in the back of you, you straighten the spine, including the cervical spine, that's your neck. Okay? But this idea that you throw your chest into the air in the name of stretching up is absolutely terrible. And I never have to say it to men because no man would ever do such a thing. It's too destabilizing, and men do not like destabilization. Women aren't, they don't care. But it is bad. Your
Okay.
heels are jammed. Raise the thighs higher, higher, higher.
Do you mean like physically
Well, what
lift
else?
my? Do you mean like this? Like
I
physically
can't
pick my leg up and move it up, like thigh up
move your
on the
thigh
saddle?
up. Yes, by all means,
Okay.
until your heel goes higher than your ball of your foot. Because if I just keep saying, don't shove your heels down, you'll still be doing it in 10 years. You
Okay.
don't break habits by having a little nagging going on in the sidelines. You break
Yeah.
habits by going to the opposite place. So raise your thigh higher, higher. Now, you may discover that you don't have any strength to raise your thigh, or you don't have any coordination to raise it. And that's fine, but then we must work on that so that you're not always just jamming your heels down. Because I can never teach you how to ride with your heels. Oh, there they go again. Pull them up. Very light on the stirrup tread with the ball of your foot. So it's an effort to raise your leg, not just to push down on the ball of your foot. Okay, higher. Yes, it's fine.
I know, I'm doing weird stuff with my body, Mayor.
Well, that's bound to happen.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Okay, put your hands together so you're less inclined to pull down and wide. Much better. So I have an expression which may or may not mean anything to you, but I say carry your own leg. Oh, there it goes again. Bring it up. Raise your kneecap higher. Let your toe go down. Yeah, you don't have to push it down, just let it dangle down. Higher heel, higher thigh, higher knee. Yeah, you'll hate it. That took me years to get over because I didn't believe that it could be true. And then finally I realized it did. Heel too low. Raise it. Carry your own leg. Good. The horse is fun. I'm not concerned about the horse. So we hear all this stuff about the position, and it's stretch up and be tall and be straight and have your legs here and have your heels down. A great deal of that stuff is nonsense. Like, not necessarily for men. The problem is this riding business was invented in the cavalry. And what is good for men is not good for women. So you can say to a man, be supple, be relaxed, follow the movement, but you can't say that to women because they turn to mush. And you can say, put the heels down, and they will, but they won't let the legs shoot out in front like you do because men do not like being destabilized. Because in evolution, our job as men was to kill the enemy or kill the meal, kill the dinner, kill the mammoth, the rhinoceros, or whatever we're going to have for supper, or to kill the neighboring tribe bad guys who are trying to steal our women and children for slaves. So much that is said applies only to men and not to women. So saying stretch up for women means stick your chest in the air and your butt out behind you. And to men, it means a totally different thing. It means straighten your spine. That's what it should mean. And heels down, men do not throw their legs forward generally. Women do. So you have to take into account that the stuff we're always told is a leftover from the cavalry days that actually doesn't apply to non-cavalry folks like women.
Okay.
So don't worry if you feel bizarre and peculiar and ugly. Because I want to break the habits. I don't want to just sit here year in and year out going, now don't do that so much. Okay, the trot.
You said, okay.
Your heels. No, 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 no. Go back, start over. You jammed your feet forward and your heels down, which stuck your butt out, arched your lower back, etc. Yeah. Good. Doesn't matter if she doesn't get it at first. You have a whip?
I do not at the moment.
Okay, well, you might want one. Your heel's too low. It's allowed to flutter to that place, but you jam it.
Okay.
Most people do. All right, grab a whip. This isn't working.
Okay.
It's working, but not well enough.
She does feel a little wibbly wobbly uncertain about my body being in a different spot. If she gets a little weird, do we just do that thing of just bring her around and
Sure. Whatever occurs to you that might work other than positive cruelty is fine.
Okay.
You don't have to wait for my permission because it may come too late.
Yeah, no, I was
Yeah,
just
by all means, just drag her around and say, what the hell are you on about?
okay.
Because it may be that she's not accustomed, at least not with you, she's not accustomed to the dynamic. So when I get you to stop shoving down and doing all the weird stuff I'm telling you not to do, it means that your upbeat and downbeat have a more powerful dynamic, and that may strike her as odd at first. And you say,
Okay.
fine, just turn around. It's a diversionary tactic, yeah?
Yes. Okay.
Oh, great. I just got an email that says flood watch in San Juan Bautista, and I'm already underwater.
Oh, lovely.
All right. Now, another point is you need to ride the horse at what will seem to you like a strange angle and position. And that is your outside seat bone to the middle of the saddle and your inside seat bone or hip or whatever it occurs to you to call it forward. So if you're going left, your left hip will be in advance of your right seat bone, right hip, but your right hip will be to the middle of the saddle. So when you turn the horse these last several times, you sag and slop to the outside, which women almost inevitably do, because of the lack of automatic inclination to stabilize the core. Yes. Stay to the left with your right seat bone in the middle of the saddle. Yes. Well done.
Thank you.
Good, good, good. The heels. Pick the thighs up. Thighs up, 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 up. Lift them up. Hang them over the knee rolls for all I care. You're still jammed. Your heels are shoved down.
I think if I put my thighs any further over the top of the saddle, they'll be on her shoulders.
Fine. That'd be fine. Now, the day may come when I say, okay, enough already. Get your damn heels down. But that's how it goes with riding, learning to ride and learning to train. Is you have to go to excess, to extreme, to break old bad habits. And then you have to cool it a little because it may have been overdone slightly. Who cares?
Okay.
This is good. Yeah. All right. So when you go for the trot, if you're not jammed down in your heels, you will have the possibility to be springy on top. And that is the main functionality that makes the horse go and makes it go steadily. It is not that you perch on your crutch and poke with your feet and stick them out in front of you. The heels are too low. Raise the thighs. Yeah, good. Okay, give her a kick, give her a shout, give her a flutter of the whip and trot. Good, good, good. Now, in every bounce, in every beat, there is an good. There is an up moment and a down moment, huh?
Yep.
You can exaggerate either one, but what you must not do is sit and wallow, get your thighs up. Your heels are too low. Up, up, up. Good. What you can do, though, is accentuate either the upbeat or the downbeat, and that sets the tempo for the horse, not the rhythm particularly, and certainly not the miles per hour greatly, but it keeps the bounce. Good, good, good. Good. So bounce, 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 bounce. Yeah. And what people do is they wallow in the saddle and the horse dies. And then they think, oh, I need more leg. No, you need more. Yeah, turn her around. Well done. Well done. Yeah, yep. And you can keep turning. There's no rule.
Oh yeah, we had a lesson where all we did was turn.
Yes. Good. So that's a psychology aspect, yeah? What to do when the horse is an ass. Yes, Bunton. So give the outer rein. Good. Very good. When you think of it, fingernails up. That'll help you not to pull down so much. And also,
the shorter.
Yeah.
We're just gonna switch sticks real quick to a little bit of a shorter one.
Oh, I see.
She's been worked with it before, but we're having a little moment. But it's okay.
So as time goes on, you will try to ride through all of that with your vertical dynamic. But that may not work at all, and you'll have to twirl her about. It has to be, I'm not very fond of it because if we do it tremendously lot, it can be hard on the limbs, of course. But better than getting your head beaten in by falling off, having done that myself so many times. So, another thing we can try. Have you watched any of the lessons to yesterday and today?
I've not watched any of yesterday's lessons, but I watched Reds, more on Red today.
Okay, so it might work. I'm not saying it will work, but it might work if when you want to turn her head around, which is perfectly fine, perfectly good, if instead you at least start for a moment with turn her head in, but both hands towards the outside ear to carry the throat latch up and out.
So,
yep, something I think like that.
Okay.
something to try, not a guarantee and not a Germanic rule, but before you need it. So do it now. Hands together, raise the throat latch up to the right. Touchy gone, touchy gone. Yeah. And then maybe if that works, you can use it when she's being stupid.
Okay.
From the wind. Is it the wind that gets her, do you think?
No, I think it's the shift that we're doing in my body position. She's very sensitive to that.
Okay, that's always possible.
Yeah, she's not particularly, she doesn't really care about outside stuff.
Okay.
She's the one that's a little weird internally, where she'll very back into her brain.
Yes, that's very Mare-like. It reminds me of women who say to their husbands or boyfriends, "We have to talk." And then they talk nonstop. Yeah, poo. Then you can add in any other little things that occur to you, like a turn on forehand step. But in this case, you would say, I'm going to keep you flexed in, lifted out. That's the throat latch. Flexed in is the head, lifted out is the throat latch. And I may kick your butt over too, or your front feet. Up and over. You've got to raise her enough that you get flexion. Bend left, but yes, there. And then the hands, ideally the hands come together so you're not pulling one out in some odd direction. Now, she may take more umbrage to this than she has to the other stuff you're doing, and that's okay. We can cope with that. Just so you know, hopefully this will be a preventative, a prophylactic.
Okay.
Raise the head until you can turn it left and move the throat latch right. And if that makes her angry, we'll deal with it. But I suspect it won't. Ah, well done, well done. Well done. Can you see it?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Good girl.
And sometimes a maneuver like this, a trick like this, sometimes can divert the overt objectionableness of them. Now there's a sentence for you. Because when you can get that flexion in the throat latch and the displacement of the throat latch, you're taking away, you're gaining mechanical advantage. Do you know what that means?
Yes. Isn't that where basically I don't know how to describe it, but I think I know what you're talking about, where we can, for lack of a better word, manipulate the forces a little bit more, not be thrown around as much.
It's a matter of physics. It is gaining the advantage. So stop a second. You know what a trebuchet is?
Like the medieval siege weapon?
Yes. Okay. So a trebuchet gained mechanical advantage over trying to throw rocks. You follow?
Yes.
Okay. And our world is full of things that give mechanical advantage. The way they built the Colosseum in Rome could never have been done without the hamster wheel for people, because they couldn't have raised those heavy stones. That was a way of making the weakness of people be strong enough by conversion to something very strong. And that's what we want to do with horses. Instead of confronting them in their long axis, where they're very long, like 7, 8, 9 feet, we dislodge, displace, divest, something like that. Move bits over so that we gain mechanical advantage, which is a term from physics.
Okay.
All right, off you go. Turn her head, raise her throat latch, hands together, together, together. Hey, that's not together. That's
They're touching.
well, now they are because I shrieked at you. They were 8 inches apart until then. Okay, now the trot. And what you're going to do if she gets nasty or naughty or stupid is pick her throat latch up and carry it up and out.
Okay.
That was good on your part. She doesn't want to go like this, yeah? So she says to you, I don't go in this mode. And you say, I insist. I'm sorry, but you must. Yeah, she may quit on you many times and you'll have to restart. But priority 1 is do not lose the flexion in the pole. Priority 2 is do not lose the raisability with hands together of the pole to the out, the throat latch up to the outside. Losing the trot is of no consequence whatsoever. Losing your position is more important to not do, I mean. All right, kick her and flail and scream and shout and say, oh, trot on, you dumb cow. Yes, but you're always thinking of your mechanical advantage, the physics of your relationship. And dressage people don't get this kind of stuff. They think it's all about a half halt or something. This is good. Good, good. The tail's even starting to swing, which it normally doesn't. Good.
Girl, good.
Yes, rest whenever you want. It's of no consequence. But when you're going, keeping that little, did you hear the lesson I gave Laura earlier?
Yes.
And I said, why bend a horse? What was the answer?
That was still when we were plugging in our headsets here, so I didn't hear that part.
Okay, the answer was to gain mechanical advantage.
Okay.
And to me, that's an important point to make because when I grew up and I rode dressage from the time I was 14, years and years before it occurred to me that there was actually a reason for it, not just because the rules said there should be a bend in the half pass, there should be a bend in the circles, there should be a bend in the corners. It was just to me a rule. Well, that's very stupid. There's a reason for that, and it has to do with making horses nimble, which goes all the way back to the cavalry and warfare and stuff, and control. So
Okay.
next time she does that wrench down, give her a yank up. Bam! No, that's a yank back. Okay, turn her head left, ask her throat latch to go up and out. Yank. Bam! No, that's a pull. To yank, you have to let go and bump it. Ah!
Okay, so.
Yeah, women are incredibly slow like that. Men are fast, again, because of the thrusting spear. No, that was a lift.
No, I didn't try to do anything with that one because I was listening.
All right, it's okay. Yeah, you got to let go first. All right, so that's for you to think about over time. All right, one more trot and we go the other way.
Okay.
Now, don't be fooled by the neck being canted inwards. It has to be that you know where to look, what to look at, and what to look for. And that is that you look at the throat latch, the jawbone, that kind of stuff, and you look for a hollow on the inside side, just behind the jawbone, and you look for the throat latch to be lifted out to the right. Yes, I think so. It's hard angle for me, but I think so. Does it look like it to you?
It did.
Good. Super. So that is your, oh shit. I can never think anymore of the words I want. That is your basis for dealing with her potential misbehavior. It's not just fancy dressage stuff. It is also to give you mechanical advantage. Yeah. Hands together. And don't tell me they're touching. They aren't. Good, good. Okay, bounce left. Just another thing to think of. So your right seat bone jumps to the middle of the saddle in every upbeat. Because what happens to women is every downbeat they slither off to the outside and collapse on the inside of the waistline. So you have to be a bit proactive to jump over to the left, onto your right seat bone, onto the middle of the saddle. Jolly good. Good. Yes. Well done.
Good girl.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, rest anytime. That's fine for both of you, either of you, for sure. You don't want to get glassy eyed, and you don't want the horse to get glassy eyed. So when you think something's working better, it's never a mistake to say, okay, let's have a 30-second hangout. Not a problem. Okay. Your feet have been much better in the last minutes, by the way, for whatever reason. But oh, I don't know why, but anyway, good for you. Now, are you clear that my fussing about your heels being shoved down is not an issue of fashion? Mm-hmm. Okay, because that's the problem with dressage nowadays, is it is overwhelmed by women who are absorbed with fashion. What is it this week? What is it next week? So I never deal with fashion, only function. When I was young, I went from riding hunters, turning. Good. Try to stay to the right. Very naughty. Good. Good. So when you got this down pat, when you've got this automatic, this flexion business, it will work much better, because right now she erases that when she's being an idiot.
Yes.
Okay. But if we can get it so installed that it even works when she's going, oh, I think I must pitch a fit, that will be great for us, certainly. Okay, go again, now to the right. We were going left, I think.
Yep. We're going right now, which is the swallow your side in case you didn't catch that from this little kerfuffle.
Okay, stand up and get your left seat bone way further right. Yeah, oh, much further. Further. Yes, at least there. At least there. So what happens to women is they oozle and slosh to the middle of the saddle, and they don't realize that the saddle is sloshed off to the left side of the horse. So they don't ride the horse, they ride the saddle. And that is a huge disadvantage because then the horse has the mechanical advantage over you. Bend the neck and raise the throat latch. Yep, yep, yep. So that will be your main goal. If it is anyway for all kind of tricks and half passes and fancy movements, but even more importantly with her, it is also good. Good. It is also the thing that gives you mechanical advantage and safety.
Good girl.
Is if you can get the throat latch up and out of the way and the head turned in at the same time, then you will be in a much better state to deal with if she gets stupid. And your first inclination, if you're like most people, will be to just pull instead of going, honey. You just twirled yourself around, get your throat latch up and out. Ahoy there. Good.
Good girl.
It's allowed to be a little excessive. This is terrible. This is good. But you let it lapse, huh?
Yeah.
No, that's forbidden. Because that'll be the moment. Yes. Good. That will be the moment when she'll say, gotcha.
Yeah.
So there is no moment when she is allowed to flatten that throat latch and push the neck in. Now, what else happens when she does that is she pushes the guts in. But you may or may not notice that yet.
She pushes what in?
Her guts, her barrel.
Oh, okay.
And most people don't know that. They say stuff like, oh, the horse is against my inner leg. Oh, the horse doesn't respond to my inside leg, to outside rein. Well, it's because they've swung the whole barrel over under the spine. This is good. Good. So when it goes to hell, any minute it's likely to, when it goes to hell, you make more of a point of this rather than just turning. I know I only told you about turning before, but I think you're good enough now that we can use this as a more sophisticated alternative. Yep.
Okay.
Yep. So it isn't like what you did before was wrong. It's just I didn't think you'd be able to do this back then. Yes. So you don't much care if she slams on the brakes and goes, what the F is going on here? You say, honey, you will stay flexed and you will stay raised to the outside. Turn her head. First turn her head, then raise her to the outside. Yes. Okay. So she got you that time. When I say she got you, you just went into sort of a mindless pulling thing. But not a bad way. But you did try to turn her, which is certainly better than sitting there pulling straight back. Good. Yeah. So start planning now. It's on my main list under expectations. Do you know my lists?
Yes. I'm familiar with the
Okay.
Expectations, yes.
All right. So if the expectation is not the girly version that says, oh, if we think positively, it will all go so well. No, it is. When's it going to go to hell and how's it going to go to hell and will I be ready for it? Turn the head. You're not ready. Yes. So expectation isn't hope, it's reality. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. So unfortunately, she's very quick when she's naughty, and that's hard for a person, a normal person riding. It's hard for this person, for a person, because it's so abrupt. With some horses, you can feel it coming and you can make your plan. But she is very, very quick to suddenly go, I'm crazed. So
Yep.
you have to have expectation that it's going to happen any second and ask yourself, am I ready for that? Oh, your hands are apart, way too much apart. Good, good. Backing up is fine. This is good. This is fine. Hands together. Yes, fine, fine, fine. Keep the band. All right. And when she gets sick and tired of it, you can permit her to go forward. Otherwise, she can bloody well back up till she falls down. Hands together. So, steering is not important. Displacement of throat latch is priority one because that's what gives you safety and security and influence and whatever it was the other thing I said. Yes, jolly good. Ah, well done. You're clearing out the audience there.
I know.
Okay, this is really good. She keeps trying to step on in her own style, huh?
Yes.
And you're saying, no, it'll be my style. And if you trample on the chairs and the folks, that's their problem. Well done. Well done. So, what most people won't do is that period that you just went through where the horse goes, no, I don't do it this way. I do it this way. No, I don't do it that way. I do it this way. And they're so desperate to get the horse to go and look pleasant or whatever that they back off and make a truce. And what you did was much better. You said, I don't care if you never go. I don't know what you were really thinking, but it gave the impression to me and the horse that you said, I don't give a poop if you never go. But if you do go, it's going to be like this. So there. All right.
Like, I won't punish you for trying stuff, but we are doing it this way.
Yes. It's not a punishment, it's encouraging experimentation.
Yes.
All right, you ask again, and if she goes, oh, I can't go forward without throwing my neck in, you say, no, I don't care if you don't go forward for weeks. Good for you. Good for you. Yes. And anytime you can pat her and take a breather. Because all we're asking is that she think instead of act stupid.
Yes, and this seems to be melting the brain. It's mush. Good.
Oh, what a pumpkin. Yes. All right. Is any of that making sense?
Yes.
All right. Because
girl.
I have two things that I am. I'm a linguist and I'm an animal person, and I deal with people who are neither. And so I find that some of the things that I say, they don't get. Oh, well done. Well done. Very cautiously, very unsurely. Yeah.
Good. Yeah.
Yes. She
we
must
go.
be allowed this little time to go, ooh, how am I supposed to deal with this stupid woman and this stupid carriage and? Good, this is fine. Everybody thinks they should be marching on with impulsion. Not. Eventually, sure, absolutely. But for starters, we have to let her experiment through the weirdness of it all. And to her, it is extraordinarily weird. Yeah, a little reminder, not a huge thing. Keep your left leg forward.
Good.
Good. Pumpkin, be ready. Are you prepared?
Yes.
Aha, now you are. But once she flattens the right side of her throat latch, you are bait.
Yeah. And the struggle I kind of have in this direction is that trying to get that, like even where she's at right now,
Yeah,
is it's like a cement wall.
that's fine. So the way you break the, hey, good. Is that cement? Hello?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, I said, is that cement?
Oh, this is not, no.
All right.
But sometimes when she gets, or when she starts feeling a little silly, it locks up and feels like it turns into cement.
Oh, absolutely. That's everybody's problem because that brings out in us the tendency to just grab the reins and brace. So that's why you train this trick, or call it what you like, this technique. Yes. Well done. There's no hurry here.
Good.
There is prioritization. Flexion in, throat latch out, and way down the line is giddy up. Way down the line. Fine. No problem. This is her experiment. Well done. All
She just
right.
doesn't like having an audience. She just wants to run them over.
You're going to clear the place out again.
Good.
Oh, now, so what you have to think about now is how come this? I used to be able to go forward. Why can't I go forward now? It's because you've added an element. Yes, you've added the flexion element. And she's saying, are you nuts? Nobody goes forward like this. And you say, honey, as of now, we do. There you got it.
Good.
Super. Well done. Excellent. So it's a very tricky thing for a rider when you say to yourself, well, I used to be able to trot on. Now I can't even walk on. And when you're knowledgeable enough, you'll say, I know why that is. It's because I'm making her do it in a way she's unaccustomed to. Well done.
Good girl.
Well done. What? She got you for a second. There again. Good. So now your job is to be attentive, certainly, to do the right stuff, certainly, but mainly to outlast her. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. Not to bully her into, you will behave and you will do this and you will do that, because you're not stable enough or brave enough and she's not smart enough to sort out that this is naughty. Yes. All right, so that inner flexion and the displacement of the throat latch out causes adduction of inner foreleg. You know what I mean by that?
I'm sorry, could you repeat? I heard, so adduction, AD of the inner?
Yes, AD is in dog, adduction of inner foreleg. That gives you an enormous mechanical advantage, which you gained by bending her neck. So bending the neck gives you a mechanical advantage, but in addition, it allows the inner foreleg, or causes the inner foreleg to adduct, and that gives further mechanical advantage. Oh, nice.
Good girl.
Good.
Good.
So if I had this horse, just from what I've watched, which is very little, a few times only, I wouldn't care if I stayed in walk for several days to install this response, this
Yeah.
functionality. I wouldn't go, oh, I'll do this for 3 minutes and then I must trot and do shoulder in and do canter, and no. All right, so I leave her there. Right.
Good
Well
girl.
done. That was a storm in the making, and you absolutely put it to bed. Does that make sense?
Yes.
All right. So call it a day. That was super well done.
Girl.
And if you're disappointed that we didn't do fancy stuff, I'm sorry for you.
Oh no, this is this being able to get that bend and not die are wins for me. Yeah.
Wait till you're
Agree.
my age.